As you've hopefully seen from the letter I sent via email and social media this week, we are very aware of the updated CDC guidelines that came out this past week. And as I said in my letter, this news serves both as a bright beacon of hope, signaling the great progress that's been made in our country in response to the COVID-19 virus, and as a call for those who are eligible for vaccination to get their vaccine as soon as possible, as a way of protecting themselves and others, because doing this will help us move toward the goal of herd immunity, and we are not there yet. This news will also require, as you likely suspect, a response from our Second Baptist Church reopening task force. Now, we know that throughout this pandemic, our task force has served us well with guidance rooted in thoughtfulness, research, compassion, and science, and we know they will continue to serve us well in this way in the days ahead. We trust that. And this week, they've actually also already been asked in very specific ways to process what these new decisions from the CDC mean for our church, and you should hear from them soon in response to this good news from the CDC. And as you wait to hear from them, and as you do hear from them, we hope that we can all continue to process this and to move forward together in a spirit of compassion and grace and love. That's what we do, right? The CDC guidelines are rooted in science, and they are for vaccinated people. So I do want to let our young parents know that we see you and we hear you. We're listening. We are grateful for an intergenerational church, which means we are blessed with so many wonderful children and their families. And our children who are 12 and older are just now being given the opportunity for vaccination. And our children who are under 12 have not had the opportunity to be vaccinated yet. And we are aware of the significant concerns that many of our parents have about this, and we want you to trust that our task force and our church wants to love our children and our families well. We always do. And I'm naming that so that you know that this is part of the conversation being had now by the task force, and so that you always know that Second Baptist is being Second Baptist, which is to say we are always striving to be thoughtful and thorough and loving in important matters like these. And in the meantime, the current plan for worship that we have between now and our first worship service in the sanctuary on June 13th offers us the opportunity to worship together in meaningful, low-risk ways for all involved. And that's a good thing, inclusive of all. And our worship planning team realizes also that our first service in the sanctuary on June 13th will be a moment. It's been 15 months since we've done this, so we want that to be a moment that we acknowledge and honor well, something that we do thoughtfully and not haphazardly. So we do hope you will plan to be with us in worship on that Sunday, June 13th, and in the Sundays between now and then, and in the Sundays after then, as we continue to worship our living and loving Christ and serve our living and loving Christ in community together. Friends, we love you, we miss you, we treasure the times together.